Hello, everyone. This is Papa G, and it is time to watch some TikTok videos. I like to do these videos um, not in a way to always make fun of what other people are doing, although sometimes that can be fun, but also so we can learn something about magic. Maybe go further in depth as to what they're talking about, or totally disagree with them, or sometimes agree with them. And today we're going to look at a couple of TikToks and then talk about it. See what we can learn about what's going on with them.
Someone at the local occult store told me today that they refuse to buy spell jars anymore because someone on Witchtok told them that it might not be safe. You never know what their intentions are.
Okay, wait a minute. Somebody owns an occult shop, meaning there's supposed to be someone who actually knows about this shit. And they're taking advice from Witchtok as to about what they should and should not carry in their store. As a store owner, I disagree. Really? Really? You're going to decide your merchandise based on a Witchtok? You must be a newbie. Did your store open last week?
Guys, this and the whole don't use sigils that you find online thing, it's giving there's something in the Halloween candy. I mean, really think about it. If you are trying to build your social media, no matter what platform you're on, or you are trying to run a witchy business, why would you sell something with the intention of causing harm? It is bad for business. It's real bad for business. And witches aren't stupid. They will pick up on that really fast. And then, boom, just like that, your career is gone. And I know spell jars aren't particularly trendy or cool anymore, but I still love these little guys and they are effective. I get phenomenal reviews on these, especially the money one. Anyway, these are up in my TikTok shop now.
I mean, oh, hey, these are up in my shop now. Okay, so the whole thing about if you sell anything harmful, you are ruining your witchy business. You're not going to be in business for long. We sell things of all different energies, whether it is for love, whether it is for jobs, money, cursing, hex removal, domination, because as a shop owner, it is not our job to judge you about the type of work you need to perform. That's on you. No, is it going to ruin your business? We've been around now, and I think it's next month is no, it's a couple months. It's in the summer. 25 years. 25 years. So you have to provide people the things that they need to do what they need to do. And that's what we have always stressed in our store is we do it without judgment. And we try to explain that to new employees too, that you cannot judge people for what they are. We have things for all paths. Any place people are on that path. And things that do harm. Sometimes things that do harm are for protective reasons. I mean, sometimes people have done some really bad shit to you, and the justice just did not work. The law did not serve you. And some people need the payback. So I disagree with that. You sometimes have to do what you have to do, and I'm not gonna take someone on Witchtok judging you for doing it. So get another one.
My favorite thing about being a witch in the fall is that now, when I wear this in public, and people notice the crystals on my desk at work, and I talk about things like protection charms and connecting with nature and the different properties of various spices and herbs and the paranormal entities that I've encountered in my life, people are like, she is so festive. I am.
Okay, but first, I got another question. I mean, that was a cute video, but where do you work? That would be the biggest question. It's like all these people hear her talking about this at work. You're not the church secretary at the Baptist church, are you? Um, You're not wearing skates at the Sonic, are you? Running out to cars talking about witchcraft. It could be a number of things. I think it depends on what job you have. But she did say it was a desk job. So yeah, secretary at the Baptist church. I don't know if I'd talk about that. Um, the desk where she greets you at the elementary school. I don't know about that. So yeah, it was a fun video, but I would have liked to have known, where do you work? Where do you work?
Hey, also down to the Swamp Witch here. I decided to make a little video on how to be respectful in a cemetery following my Savannah trip that I just went on, because I saw some serious disrespect, and it got to the point where some of the Civil War soldiers that were buried in one of the cemeteries actually came up to me and told me that nobody has respect anymore. So
Okay, so one of the Civil War soldiers came up to her and told her, um, it can happen. It can happen. Sometimes when someone says it with that tone or something, and they're putting on Witchtok, makes me wonder, but possibly.
first rule is to touch nothing unless you're picking up trash and disposing of it in a trash can. Your hand oils can be really detrimental and harmful to headstones, so just don't touch anything.
All right, it is in some paths to actually touch headstones. Some people will leave stones on headstones. Um, that's also the way some people connect with loved ones, is by going over their name on the headstone. I think this depends on what path you're on, what your path is. I don't think these are hard and fast rules. True about you shouldn't take things away that are there. Don't take other people's flowers. Don't take objects. Don't dig up plants. If you're picking up trash, like they said, I agree with that.
Stay on sidewalks and obvious walking trails. Do not walk on the grass. Do not walk over dead bodies. It's rude. Speaking of walking, only walk. Do not run. This one might get a little bit of hate, but dress appropriately with your shoulders covered.
Let's stop for a second. I agree. I never walk over strangers' graves. But I do walk on the grass in between the graves. Part of the folk magic that I perform deals with actually going to the graveyard. So just staying on the sidewalks isn't going to work with it for all paths who actually deal with graveyard magic.
And modest. It's not religious, it's just respectful. Over this weekend, I saw someone sitting on a grave. I almost died. So sit only on benches and seating areas. And lastly, remember,
She almost died. So, well, you would be in a great place to do it, the cemetery, about sitting on a grave. So, I've seen people lay down on graves of their loved one to lay there and talk to them. Now, if you're sitting on, if you're, you can't, I wouldn't have a picnic on a stranger's grave. That would be very disrespectful. But if this is someone that you're related to or loved, or there's no problem with that. There's no problem. Um, it's almost like sitting beside them on a couch or something. Um, there's, yeah, no problem with that. I don't know what she's talking about.
that even if you are physically alone, spiritually, you are not. So treat the spirits like they're still walking among us. Blessed be.
Well, blessed be. But yeah, that is not my experience in working with the graveyard, where you actually would go and sometimes borrow or buy the graveyard dirt from different graves to work with. So you're definitely not going to get to do that if you're only staying on the sidewalks, not even getting into the grass. So here the main thing to keep in mind, this is we all have different paths, and blessed be, I don't think we it doesn't all fit into one box. Magical paths, spiritual paths do not all fit into one box. So if you agree with all that, great. What are your experiences? How does that differ for you? Some people go out and put light candles on the grave. Some people will plant plants in the grave, actual flowers and stuff. Some cemeteries won't let you do that. Other ones will. But yeah, some people find in very certain in many cultures, interacting with the grave is more of a sign of respect than completely staying away from it. So that, that's not been my experience in what she's talking about. So let's see. Let's try to go to the next one. Let's go back because I'm going to see the title here. I want you to see the title. You want to, okay, I get it. You want to mess with my client, meaning you are protecting your client that has come to you. So that's what this is about. I like what's going on here. Actually using cutting. Well, all right. She got some tunes going on with the doll baby. I like the idea of using clay and actually pressing objects into them, pressing the spices into it. You can manipulate. Some people would then actually just beat the hell out of the thing and roll it up, depending on what you're doing. I like the idea of using clay, though, raw clay for your poppet, where you can actually put things into it. Maybe after you put things in, after the whole ritual's done, maybe you bake it. Maybe you go ahead and get it hard, or if it's air dry clay, to let it dry, and then put it somewhere else.
This is the heaviest song you will ever fucking hear! The heaviest song we have ever written! Met a girl and I really thought she likes me. Truly thought that I would not.
No. Now, I included this one to show you that this one is an example of my problem with Witchtok. What does it have to do with witches? It has nothing to do with witches. Nothing. It has to be with you wanting to go on and just show off. Why not use hashtag lip sync, not hashtag Witchtok? But there are so many. There's so many like this. This is mainly what you're finding on Witchtok these days. You're finding very little advice on witchcraft, folk magic, hoodoo, Santeria. You're not finding real advice anymore. It used to be a place where you could find advice, albeit most of the time it was bad advice from newbies who had done no research usually. Now, there were some people on there had done their research, were providing good content. There are still a few on there you can find, but this shit that I just showed you, that's not. Don't use the hashtag Witchtok. You're just there to be a performer. We'll say performer, because also I've seen other ones where they'll do hashtag Witchtok and they're lip syncing, and I can tell you they're bad at it. If you don't have your lip sync down where it looks like you are actually saying the words that you are lip syncing to, don't upload the video. Okay, so what did we learn today? We learned mainly that different paths have different ways of doing things. There is no right or wrong. Sometimes there's some wrong. But the main thing to remember is you have to follow your own path. What is your way of doing things? Doesn't mean you should be disrespectful. Doesn't mean you should, of course, break any laws or any rules of any public place like a cemetery or something. But don't take all of your advice from people. Number one, well, I would say on the internet, here I am. I'm on the internet, but you gotta go to the source. Who's the source you're going to take advice from? Any of these people filming these videos, can you look them up anywhere else? Anyone a practitioner? Are they a real tarot reader you can book appointments with? Are they a high priestess? Have they done any study in anything? Or are they just somebody that feels pretty gothy and they're in their bedroom filming videos? So yeah, so that's what we came to talk about today. A little bit of Witchtok watching. And the main thing is Stay true to your path and don't let other people tell you what you should and should not believe.